We're Sports on Tap. I'm Rob Troutman, and our next guest comes to us on the RRT Productions hotline, where he's been head coach of the Cleveland Heights Tigers hockey team for the last 10 years. He was an assistant coach for 4 years. His record right now is 133, 116, and 15 as head coach. And Cleveland Heights has played in all three leagues over the years in the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. Tigers captured last year's Barron Cup 2 title, and then they moved up into the Red Division. Joining us is head coach of the Cleveland Heights Tigers hockey team, Eddie Babcox. And, Coach, thanks for taking time to join us today.
Oh, no problem. You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, you're in your 10th season as coach, and you've been in the league a long time. Talk a little bit about how you started in hockey and made your journey until right now.
Well, after college, I moved back home, and I always wanted to be a part of the team in some capacity, either if it was just going to games or just, helping out in practice. But that just turned into me coaching with, at the time, Kirk Gunther was the head coach of the team back in 2003. And he asked me when I came out and skated with the team back then, he asked me if I wanted to help out and be a coach. And I said, yeah. And the rest is history. That was back in the fall of '03. And I've been doing it ever since. And I learned a lot under Kirk, and I got the bug, and he taught me a lot about it, and it kept me in the game, and it's been great ever since.
Now, what's one of your greatest memories of coaching at Cleveland Heights so far? You've been there, 10 plus years. 10 years as a head coach, but 4 as an assistant, helping with the team. What's been one of your greatest memories so far there?
There's been quite a bit. Obviously, last year's Bear Cup 2 championship, I think that was probably the biggest, most special memory I can think of right now, at the top of my head. A couple years back, I think into the December of 11, we were in a tournament at Progressive Field where we got to play outside on the ice. There in the where the Indians play in the baseball field, and I thought that was a very special moment. That was really cool for the kids, and that was a great experience. And honestly, over the years, just the memories you make with all the kids and the connections you make with all the players over the years, and after they've graduated too, I think that's a big part of it. That's probably the most important thing, is the connection you make with the players and the friendship you keep over the years with them. And I think that is one of the biggest things that it's all about.
Yep, absolutely. And like you said, last season you won the Barron Cup 2 title. Talk about that a little bit and your season from last year, and tell us a little bit about the players that are back this year.
Last year that was a special team. We had a good core of kids that had been together for years. Going back to youth hockey when they were Mike, Squirts, Pee-wees, Bantams, and then into high school they played together for a long time. They were able to form this camaraderie over the years, so they were very comfortable playing with each other. And as we got into the high school, they got even more comfortable. And we went on a hell of a run. It was a great run from around Christmas time through February. I don't think we lost a game, and winning's contagious in any sport at any level. I don't care what you're playing, and you start having fun. You get into your comfortable zone. Everything starts clicking, and that's the thing. Everything's got to be running on all cylinders. Everything's got to be clicking, and it did. From defense to offense to goaltending, it just did. And then we went into the tournament very confident. And we had a strong team. We had very strong first line, very good defensemen, and our current goalie, who was the goalie last year, Trent Swain. We could play anybody last year in the state, and I'd be comfortable with our outcome because of him between the pipes. And it just worked, and we ended up winning it. And we tried to take that ride into this season, and it's been a tough transition moving up to the Red Division. The teams are more competitive. They're tougher. They're better talent-wise. And but that's what, as a coach, that's what I like. You have to earn your win. You have to work hard for your win, because sometimes even last year we were playing some teams that were definitely below us in talent, and that we go out and we knew after about a period or so that there's no way this team's going to come back on us. This year, we don't have that at all. We go into a game and we have to work hard every period, every shift to get the W. And I like that because not only does that make us more successful, in our season on the ice and as a team, but, you can use that in life. You got to work hard for whatever you want. Nothing comes easy. And that's the analogy we always use, the coaching staff. That's what we always use. My assistant coach, Jeremy Holmes, he's really big on making analogies, comparing it from our hockey team to life. And that's one of the main things is you have to work hard for anything. And that's where we're at in the Red Division. And it makes us a better team. It makes them better kids ultimately. And that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I like what the league has done with moving teams up if they've had a lot of success in the lower divisions, and I think it's really balanced the league out. Now, this season so far, you're 10-9 overall. You're 3-2 in conference, and you guys actually start off losing the first 5 games. 8 out of your first 9 games you lost, but you've got on a little bit of a winning streak near the end here. Talk about the confidence your team might be getting now. You had some tough games early on. You lost some close games, but it seems like your team's starting to believe a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. That old saying, winning is contagious. Once you start getting on a roll, you just kind of take what's working and roll with it. And we've done that in our practices, what we've worked on, that we take from a game scenario that seems to be working, if it's a system, if it's a set play, if it's the way they're working hard in the game. We have to work with that. And that's what we've been doing, and it's been working. We're on a good run here, getting some W's. But most importantly, the W's are great, obviously, but most importantly, it's making the team better on the ice and off the ice. It's very important that your team can have good camaraderie off the ice because that carries over onto the ice big time. And that's just one thing that kind of gets looked over. If you have a close-knit group, you're probably going to be a little bit more successful than a team that's pretty distant. They don't have that many good friends, on the team. If you can get them to bond off ice, and it shows on the ice. And I think that's another thing when you continue to win, you develop a bigger bond, and then you become more successful. And I think that's what's happening. And that's on the kids. That's something that we don't really enforce, but the kids kind of can pick that up. And then I have to hand it to our players and our captain, Stephen Lang, and our assistant captains, Noah Weisblatt and Charlie Adams. I think the 3 of them do a good job of keeping the team, bonded together, keeping everybody on track, giving them their specific jobs they need to do. And you have more fun. And at the end of the day, right, you're having more fun, you're going to be more successful. That's my opinion.
No, yeah, I completely agree with that. And, how tough was it, though, in the beginning? Your team was losing games. How did you really get them to turn the leaf and say, all right, let's put those behind us and try to be successful? Because it's tough probably for high school coaches, especially confidence-wise with some of these kids, to make them start believing, especially if you lose 8 out of your first 9 games. They might be down at dumps. How do you make them turn over and believe in themselves there?
So, luckily, based on the schedule, most teams start out with a tournament in Thanksgiving weekend, and that's the beginning of the season. And with us, we went down to Columbus, and we knew, and I put it in their heads that every team we were going to play down there was going to be a very tough game. So they know going in that every game's going to be tough. And if they show any, signs of success, then they're going to build and feed off of it. Instead of going down there and then losing 4 games, we knew that was going to happen. You just kind of got to build off situation by situation. And I thought they handled it well. Then, you come home, you get into league play. I think we lose to Midview by a goal, and then we lose to North Olmsted in overtime. So they know that they're right there. So we're not getting blown out. We're not getting 10 goals. We're not losing big time. As long as they know that they're in the games, they know that their confidence is still there, and they do have a shot. They just got to, put together 3 solid periods. We've been, stressing all year, in this league, in the Red Division, you can't make that many mistakes. Every game, unfortunately, has to be error-free, And that's kind of that's what we've been taking on this year. You have to put together 3 air-free hockey periods, and if you can do that, you're going to win. If you have any breakdowns against these teams, it's going to show. Unfortunately, you might get the loss, but, that's what we've been trying to teach them, and they've been handling it well. And I think especially in the last, 9-10 games, we've been pretty successful at that.
Yeah, and give you and your staff credit, and obviously the players, turn this around. It's a long season. Now talk a little bit about your players. You look at your roster, and it's easy to see Noah Weisblatt with 30 points so far this season, and Stephen Lang also has 30 points. Those are guys that score a lot, but there's other players on this team as well that contribute in a big way. Trent Swain, your goalie, has an 86% save rate. Talk a little bit about the players that have contributed this season for you.
Absolutely. You start between the pipes. That's where you start. You have to have a good foundation back there. And Trent Swain, he could play with any team in the city. I think he's a solid goaltender. Most importantly, he's a great kid. He's a great student. So those are factors that I don't need to worry about as far as him in the classroom or anything like that. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You're a student athlete, and he is the ultimate student athlete. And, the way he does work hard in the classroom, he carries over on the ice. He's got his own little attitude back there, and he kind of runs the show. And Trent has been, I think the reason we're able to be in the red division and compete in the red division is because of the solid goaltending. Especially up in the red, you got a lot. The shooters are stronger, they're better shots, and he's able to handle that. And then on offense, like you were saying, Stephen Lang, he's our captain. He's probably I don't like to rank players I've coached over the years first, the best, the second best, the third best, but if I did, he's up there. He's definitely up there, one of the best players I've ever coached. And he has some good help with Noah Weisblatt. They play on the same line. And they feed off each other. Noah has more points than him, but if you look at Noah's points, he has more assists because he's feeding Steven. Steven has more goals, and they just feed off each other. And their other linemate, Jimmy Hayden. Jimmy's a guy who's worked hard over the last 4 years to be a starter. I believe his sophomore year he might have been a third liner, and he's worked his way all the way up just with hard work. And as a coach, those are the players you like, that that early on in their career their talent's not there. You work with them and they work to get better. And Jimmy's one of those guys that you're proud of because he's a starter, he's an impact player, he's getting Steven the puck, he's helping us out, he's finishing. It's been great. And on defense, Charlie Adams. Charlie's a good story because his freshman year he was very timid. He was very uncomfortable. He made a lot of mistakes, and he's a guy just like Jimmy, where they worked hard over the years. They became starters and impact players. And Charlie's our assistant captain, and he's the leader of the defense back there. And him and Trent work very well together, and he's been great to watch and develop and grow over the years. So those 3 guys, they're the good foundation of the team, and everybody else feeds off them. And it's been fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, I think it's always important to have those captains that lead a good example for the rest of the team, and it seems like the rest of your team is following. And you still have a decent amount of games left leading up to the Barron Cup. Let's talk a little bit about your schedule. Looking ahead, you play an Aurora team tonight. Then you face Midview, Strongsville, and North Olmsted. And we know that Midview and North Olmsted have been pretty close games. You played them earlier this season. Talk a little bit about your tough road ahead leading up to the Barron Cup.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I like. You have to earn your way into the Barron Cup in the Red Division. In the past, we've had a lot of success in the White Division where we kind of just coasted in, but this year it's still up in the air. We don't know if we're going to qualify, and I like that. So January it's a grinder for sure. It's the rough part of the year. You get a lot of games. You get back-to-backs on the weekends, and Midview is going to be a tough game, very tough game. We played them twice. Both of them were 1-goal loss games. They got some players that can finish big time, and we just got to make sure we'll prepare for them. And North Olmsted's the same way. They have some finishers that also we're going to have to prepare for. And then I believe Strongsville in there. Strongsville we played 3 times this year. That'll be our 4th time playing them. I don't care what team you are, what level you're at. You play the same team 4 or 5 times in a season. It's very difficult to beat that team every time. Anything can happen. So that's what we've been telling them about that. We played them last weekend in the league play. That was our 3rd time, and it was a close game. And the first time we played them, it was not close. The last time we played them, it was close. And the next time we play them, it's going to be even closer. So yeah, it's the January grind, and we're looking forward to it. Right now we're in the NDCL MLK weekend tournament, and it's a good tournament for us. Kind of work on what you need at gameplay. In tournaments, you can kind of do different scenarios. You can probably run line combinations that you normally don't do. You can play your backup goalie, all this stuff, and it helps the team. And it's a perfect time to do that going into the back half of league play. And I think I'm very excited for the next couple of weeks coming up because we want to make the Barron Cup. We really got to earn it.
Well, Coach, we really appreciate your time today, speaking with us. Do a great job at Cleveland Heights, and we wish you nothing but good luck the rest of the season, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you real soon.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. And that's head coach of the Cleveland Heights Tigers hockey team, Eddie Babcox, joining us on Sports on Tap.